A miner become a king after 100 years. The movie. This is the story of a miner named Udek, a simple human who had no hope in life and become a king. Here I'll tell you the story of how he became a king. Grab your popcorn and a soda. Relax and enjoy the story of Udek. These are its initial features: peaceful, happy, and persuasive. Level 2, experience 0 of 120, 0 murders. He resides in the PS and he's from Kingdom Alto. When he was 2 years old, he simply walked like all the other children in the town, without direction. The little ones are very lost. When he turned 5 years old, he arrived at the center of the town and broke into a stranger's house. Another child was going to break in, but Udek chased him away. Udek left the house when he was 6 years old and turned 80 years old right when he left the house. He took a little tour by the river and went back into another house when he was 9 years old. He left that same year and he was going to move into another house, but it was busy. At the age of 11, he was approaching the well that they built because the little boy Udek was a little bit thirsty. Although in the process he forgot what he was going for. That's why he stayed for a while on the side of the mountains. When he was 12 years old, he saw the army with admiration. He saw how they had the freedom to go wherever they wanted to go, like him at this moment. But Udek knows when you grow up, you must dedicate yourself to something. 14 years old and he approaches the huge bonfire in the town. He does not decide to stay because the army general saw him with an ugly face and Udek got scared. At 15 years old, he broke into someone else's house. Again, as usual we could say. He left that same year and headed to the mountains. He turned 17 while he was on his way to the mountains, and he stayed there until he was 18. He ate something and stayed at another point in the mountains. He didn't want to go to the town because that meant working, and it was something he didn't want to do. He went to the town, but he went into a cabin and someone else messes with him, so he better went out to avoid causing problems since he is a grown-up now, not a little kid anymore. He stood in front of a huge house and wondered what they do to have those houses, because he also wants a house that big in the future. He is still wondering what he wants to do for a living, but wherever he goes, they never give him a job. Until now, he decided to dedicate himself to mining, and thank God he got a job. He crushed a stone and left the resources in his boss's house. He saw a magician for the first time. His name is Lipton, and he has a magic weapon with these characteristics. If you like it, pause the video in the weapon characteristics part. There will be more characteristics and statics to see in the video. He continued working to get money and be able to do something in life. When he saw the magician, it occurred to him to go to places where his friends have never gone, and the magician has. He went into a cabin and counted how much money he had. He saw that it might not be enough to go to adventures, so he went back to work to get more resources and sell these resources to get some money. He left the resources at his boss's house and he got some money for that. When he turned 23, he decided to go to the mountains and see if he can find his purpose in life. He also wants to have an adventure to tell his children, because apparently he has 2 children at the moment. I really don't know how. Udek turns 24 while searching for his purpose in life. And on his way, he heard that if he goes to the other corner of the earth, he will be able to find supernatural creatures that the government hides from everyone. And according to an old man, he went and came back with a magic wand and that he is a magician now. But no one has seen him again, although Udek saw him a few years ago. Udek passes by a giant at his 24 years old. He had never seen a giant in his life, but thanks to traveling the world, he managed to reach the Rococo village and saw a giant, something to tell his children when he goes back home. At the age of 25, he saw a giant again and decided to leave the Rococo village and go to the corners of this land that no one else dares to go except the old man and Udek, who is now going there. Udek turns 26 and continues looking for his adventures. Udek stops in front of a stone that could give him a lot of money. He thinks about chopping it, but it's better to go on his adventure. Udek heard in a bar that if you reach the mountains at the corner of the world and ask Hephaestus to help you be a hero, Hephaestus will give you a shield and test you if you are worthy of his help. How do they know this? I really don't know. Udek has been asking Hephaestus for help for 1 year now, and nothing has happened. So he is going to explore a little bit of this place unknown to him. Udek gets to work gathering resources to survive while he continues asking Hephaestus for help for 2 years now. Udek decided to go to the mountains and ask again to see if Hephaestus will help him this time. Udek disappeared from the radar for a moment and returned. Udek spoke with Hephaestus and knows that he will help him to level up. Then Udek receives a divine shield and out of nowhere, an ice golem appears in front of his eyes, and he has to defeat it to receive more help from Hephaestus. The ice golem has these treats: Feel free to pause the video if you like to. They started fighting, and let's hope that Udek wins, because if he doesn't win, this video ends here. That'll be no good for us. Udek emerged victorious with 30 of 120 experience, and apparently he already has 3 children. Something smells fishy over here. Now Udek has 1 kill on his name. He again received another divine shield, and a demon appears in front of his eyes. The battle begins. Udek was burning in flames without divine shield, so Hephaestus sends divine shield from heaven, and it falls on both of them. Now Udek and the demon has divine shield. They ran out of divine shield, and now Hephaestus sends divine shield from heaven. This battle has lasted a long time. This time the only one with the divine shield is Udek, and the battle continues. Udek continues fighting the demon. From so many divine shields, Udek managed to encase the shield by praying to Hephaestus and Estia at the same time. Now he obtained the shield of Hephaestus and the blessing of empowerment from Estia, and now he has much more strength than normal. At the age of 37, Udek managed to defeat the demon. He obtained a legendary weapon with these characteristics, and obtained the burn skins trait thanks to the demon fire. Udek leveled up with this legendary battle to level 4. He already has 28 of 116 experience and 2 kills on his name. Taking advantage of the empowerment blessing, Hephaestus tells him to go to another corner of the mountains to face an evil magician. He gives him a divine shield, and an evil wizard appears in front of his eyes, and the infernal battles begin. The magician has a legendary weapon with these characteristics. At 39 years old, Udek managed to defeat the evil wizard and obtain the legendary weapon that the wizard carried. He also obtained the magician killer trait. He is already close to being called a hero, but he is still at level 4. A legion of skeletons appears in front of his eyes, and now he has to defeat his life. He managed to defeat the skeleton army, and now he has 109 kills at his name. He's level 10 with 115 of 280 experience and gained a trait called War Veteran. Many skeletons appeared, and he went to war again with the skeletons. I really don't know what went through Udek's mind, but he threw away the magician weapon and exchanged it for this legendary weapon. It has more attack speed, but it does less damage than the magic weapon. Udek went through something that no one would know at his 42 years, because now he has recharged traits. He is immortal, wise, veteran, magician killer, burn, happy, and persuasive. He already has 4 children, level 12, 300 of 320 experience, and has 241 kills at his name. At 45 years old, he returned to the Alton Kingdom without anything magical, but with a lot of experience in combat and many deaths to his name. He wants to return to his family and tell them about his adventure in the mountains and divine company with Hephaestus and Estia. He tells a boy that he has a powerful weapon, and he also asks him, "And what do you have, little kid?" He crossed the swamp and crossed cities to reach his beloved family. In the year 47, he managed to reach the town of Omo, which is near to the town of Apies. He already arrived with his beloved family and went straight to the army to tell his comrades what he had managed to achieve. The army began to admire Udek. Udek became friends with many of the army and even the general. Now he is happily at home. In the year 49, he got bored of being at home since everything is routinary, and he loves adventure that smells of danger. At 50 years old, he was seriously thinking about leaving his home again and going to travel the world like in the past, but this time he is looking for a partner to go on adventures. Only no one dares to go because they are afraid. In the year 51, several towns have been founded and the kingdom grows incredibly fast. This is how much the Alto Kingdom has grown. At 52 years old, he managed to convince Shumila to go on adventures with him. Shumila is 36 years old, he is clever, he has a wooden ball, he is level 2, and he has 1 children. They are going to travel the world. Udek at the moment is 53 years old. Shumila follows him on his great adventures. At the year 54, Shumila separates from Udek, but they both agree to meet in the Bounded Mountains. Udek passes through the town called Gohat and tells them about his experience fighting with evil enemies. Not many believed in him. The ones who believed in him were those who had managed to see the white magician, who also had similar experience to Udek. In the year 56, Udek arrives at the abandoned mountains, but Shumila is still not there. He finally managed to see Shumila. Both take the path to the unknown for Shumila because Udek already knows all these places. Shumila begins to dob on this exploration, but Udek promised him that he will be able to have a magic wand or a fire weapon after this. A wolf tried to attack them from behind, but they were faster than the wolf and escaped into the mountains. They managed to arrive, and now they both ask for the blessing of Hephaestus. Hephaestus gives them a shield, and a demon appears in front of them. They faced the demon and managed to end his life. None of them grabbed the weapons, and now a magician appears in front of them. The magician focuses on Udek and ignores Shumila because he's weak. They managed to defeat the magician, but nothing has happened to them. Udek is simply the one who managed to kill them, and that is why Shumila cannot get the magic weapons or the fire sword. An army of skeletons appear in front of them. Udek and Shumila defend each other. But a misfortune happened in the middle of the battle. Udek and Shumila ran out of shield, and Shumila was headshot. He did not survive. Udek becomes so sad and preferred to return to home to tell the bad news. While Udek was returning home, he had not noticed that a war had started. What a surprise he will get when he arrives home. He gets among the people and he just starts fighting to stay alive. Udek asks for the blessing of Hephaestus, and Hephaestus gives him a divine shield. Udek is a crazy guy, facing an entire army by his own. Just watch him. They stop attacking him because the kingdom where Udek belongs claimed the territory. Udek does not know what is happening and wants to get to his house ASAP. He was being attacked by everyone, so he again asked for the help of Hephaestus since he is one of the warriors of Hephaestus. He asked for help, and Hephaestus sent him demons and evil magicians so that Udek can eliminate them and get some experience. Udek wants to take a break, but he doesn't know when they are gonna attack him. Udek passes through the town that has a huge swamp and manages to pass to the other town after a boat crossed. Udek arrives at the Rococo town. He goes to rest in a house, and now that he has rested, he begins to ask what is happening. They tell him that while they were at war, they decided to proclaim him king. Now he is King Udek. Udek does not believe it and goes into a house to have a beer and think what he has passed. In the year 68, Udek continues drinking beer and goes out to ask if what they told him is true. He goes to the army to ask his friend, who is a general, and they confirm that yes, he is now a king. Now Udek resides in Rococo and is king of the kingdom the Lycir. He already has a golden tooth, which he got when he arrived to Rococo. He has a legendary silver chain, a legendary bone ring, steel boots, a silver breastplate, a silver helmet, and a weapon that looks like an axe made of steel, and it's legendary as well. Now he can enter all the houses without any problem since he's king and no one can tell him anything. He's thinking what he can do, so he goes with the army and goes to talk to his friend at his house. They have a beer and he goes out to tell everyone about his experience in the mountains. He remembered that his friend Shumila died in combat, and he goes to Shumila's wife to tell her about the misfortune. He apologizes for not being able to save him. He goes to work for the kingdom cutting down trees, setting the example. He never imagined that he could be a king. As a child he thought about it, but he did not believe that he would achieve it. He goes to eat in the houses because the town people invite him to carnitas asadas. He goes around the entire town, eating from house to house. The truth is that Udek is very comfortable. He is no longer interested in going on adventures, apart from the fact that he cannot do it anymore. Now he is responsible of the kingdom. Udek asks for divine blessing because he will go to war, so he goes straight to the beatings. Udek does not give up when there is a war. They are attacking his town and he has to defend it. They manage to end the battle within the town, and this is what it looks like. The kingdom of Udek is here, and it is also here. Nior with his dear adventure friend died. Udek is in a house planning how to defend the kingdom from enemy attacks. Udek walks near the river to clear his mind. Now he sees that being a king is not an easy task since he cares about his kingdom. He goes to rest in the house, and after eating, he goes out to see what his army says. Udek fed the army and goes with his beloved wife. Since her wife and children live here, he asks his wife if she wants to be the one who rules the kingdom because he got tired of being a king. Udek goes to the other town to see how things are going. Udek returns to his kingdom and sees his army passing near him. Udek's army swept across the realm called Realm of the Soshi. Udek from the capital of the kingdom sees how his army goes to war. He wants to go too, but he cannot leave his people alone. Udek becomes desperate. He wants to do something, but all he has to do is listen to the news. He starts cutting down trees to calm down a little, and only thinks about whether it was good to declare war or whether it would be better if he had remained pacifist. He goes to eat roast meats and drink beers at his friend's house. On the other hand, the armies of Udek manage to reach the last town of the realm of Soshi and are at war to see if they can keep the territory. Udek on the other hand no longer cares about the war. He is now at peace. He goes into the house of an army commander to talk about war. Meanwhile, Udek asks for divine blessing and goes to war. He loves fighting. No one would deny it. Udek happy that he was able to kill a few of the enemy army, he goes in search for more war. Udek does not know what time war was declared against the Autumn Kingdom. He thought they were friends. He thought they were comrades. But now they want to meet the angry Udek. They already found him. In the year 90, Udek goes to cut down trees to light the offering to Hephaestus. He tells him that when there's war, he will ask for divine shield because he wants to break faces. In the year 91, they conquered the kingdom of Udek, and he stops being king. Now his loyalty is toward the Autumn Kingdom, which was previously his kingdom. Udek no longer knows what to do with his life. He thought that being king was his destiny. He thought that was his purpose in life. But now that he has lost it, he asks for advice. He visits his friends, and they tell him to calm down. Now soon you will know what is good for. In the year 93, he visits his comrade, and they tell him that if he kills the king, he could be the next king of the Autumn Kingdom, and he started thinking about it. He invited the king in the mountains because according to Udek, he wanted to give him some advice from the previous king to the current king. The king accepted and they met. In the end, Udek killed the king, but they appointed someone else as king, so Udek invited that king in the year 95. The king went to see him, thinking that he would receive advice from Udek. Udek hid and waited for them to kill the new king. They killed the king and made Udek the new king. Udek, very happy, goes to greet his people again, telling them that he will not leave them down like in the past and that now it will be the best king of all. In the year 97, Udek visits the farm near the swamp and the mushrooms. He likes what he sees and encourages them. He tells them that he will soon come to eat bread with them. Udek goes into the church to talk to Hephaestus and apologizes for not having been the good king last time, but now he will be one of the best. Udek gives an example for his people by telling them that working is not bad, that he himself goes to work to see this kingdom prosper. He eats roast meat with his friend from the army, and after 3 beers he goes out and talks to his people. Udek tells those in the mountain to get to work the way he works. They only ate while Udek was moving away from the mountains. They almost ran over Udek, but they did not know that the king was the one who was going to cross. Udek received the 100-year drinking beer at farmer house, thanks him, and pays for the remodeling of the farmer's house since he liked him and they become friends. Udek knows that the video is going to end. Udek tells us that thank you very much for watching the video. He goes back into the house to cry, and in the year 101, he completely pays for the construction of the house of his dear friend, the good farmer. On to the next one, people. Love you all. Bye bye. Ciao.